Wow, people. Boruto Naruto Next Generations episode 184. One of the things that this episode signifies is when anime utilize the potential that anime only episodes have to actually add and give characterization and character development, and in general just make you feel more for a character than you would have felt in its source material, whether it be of course the manga or the light novel or whatever it is, but in particular in this case the manga. Boy, did it really showcase very well with Mugino. People, R.I.P. Mugino. In the manga, I did not care about this moment like that. Like, honestly, it was just like, oh shit, something happened. Wow, somebody, died or some shit. In the anime, it literally feels night and day, because I'm genuinely like, wow, we had a lot of really dope moments in the last few months with Mugino. Him and Konohamaru being like BFFs and shit like that. He felt like the proper version that Konohamaru should have been of a character, leading the squadron and stuff like that. Oh my god, just the memorial episode, again, not in the manga, adding to this, just wow. Honestly, Studio Period giving the proper, at the very least, art and somewhat animation for this episode as well. Just I'm so happy of the adaptation we got. And yeah, we've got to talk about it. Boruto episode 184. I can't freaking believe it. It was insane. A couple of things that they took out from the manga we'll discuss, and yeah, wow.
No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done.
So for starters, it starts off with seeing Kawaki. He's standing on, I can't recall if it was the blimp or a mountaintop, because like I want to say it was like mirroring the opening, the anime opening, where you see Kawaki's back or whatnot. And yes, I'm saying Kawaki because, come on, by now everyone should know at the very least who he is. That's the character that you see in the first episode, in the first chapter of the manga. But looking beautiful there. They're slowly introducing him into the story, and I want to say it was actually announced that we're in the final stages of this arc, which how this arc feels like it just started, but nevertheless, just already like giving you a sign of, yo, this is gonna be a big episode, fam. Anytime you see Kawaki, something's gonna happen. So we start off there, giving us a good sign of things to come for the episode. Then we follow up, getting into them leaving, Boruto and crew leaving the laboratory, getting ready to bounce up out of there. Something that was taken out of the manga, which kind of makes sense for her character. But in the manga, Sumire, the girl with the purple hair, she actually makes a confession to Boruto that she has feelings for him. I remember even making a video like, oh shit, she's into Boruto. I made a whole discussion about it and everything. Like, there's a pairing there. There's kind of creating a little different dynamic of not just it being Boruto x Sarada that everybody thinks. They didn't have that in this episode, and to be honest with you, that's more on par with the Sumire that we've seen in the anime. Sumire is a little bit more of a shy character in the anime. In the manga, they took a little bit more liberties with her character, so they made it that it was possible for her to be like, yo, Boruto, I want you to get up in these jeans or the skirt or whatever. But yeah, no confession, which I'm not mad at it at all, because to be honest with you, like, Sumire is not even really a relevant character like that, and on top of that, she's not even a shinobi anymore, so I could take her to leave it. I wasn't really mad about that. But for anime onlys that don't know about the manga, yes, Sumire was actually supposed to make like a confession of love or liking Boruto, and that didn't happen in this one, which again, I'm okay with it. It's not really a deal breaker because it doesn't seem like it'll go anywhere anyway. And then we see Katsuki with this ridiculous looking gear. It looks ridiculous on him, to be honest with you, and with all due respect and whatnot. Katsuki looks like his character design at the very least was modeled after the original author of the Boruto manga, and I'm not talking about Kishimoto, the original author of Naruto. I'm talking about the one that was just recently replaced, Ukyo Kodachi. I'm curious if Ukyo Kodachi was the basis for the character design for Katsuki. And I mean, Katsuki, he's not like a horrible character or anything like that, but I just noticed like the resemblance the last couple weeks. I'm like, yo, shit, he kind of looks like this dude wrote himself into the manga, even though Katsuki was technically like a part of the movie, but he was a little bit of a different character. But they arrive at the crash site of the blimp, and they see these robots on the floor, and the robots start attacking. And I remember in the manga, the robots feeling a little bit more threatening, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they actually was doing a little more damage, even in the battle against Konohamaru and Mugino. Yeah, Mugino got pierced and stuff like that, but I just remember in the manga feeling a little bit more like, holy shit, if these robots are giving a problem, what the hell is it gonna be like fighting against the actual Kara members and whatnot? But in the anime, it didn't really feel like that too much. I mean, we got a little bit of an example of Katsuki's gear of being able to absorb the juice jutsu. So Katsuki is basically almost like wearing an Otsutsuki husk essentially on him, able to, you know, absorb chakra blasts and whatnot. But Boruto and crew are able to incapacitate them for a small time and get away, which I guess that kind of makes it that, yeah, they are somewhat of a threat. They weren't able to just slaughter right through them, right? And it also gives Katsuki a realization of something that, again, wasn't in the movie, but we got more so in the anime and whatnot, that Katsuki was put on the genjutsu. That's why he did all the fuck shit that he did in the Boruto Naruto the movie stuff, and that's probably how the secrets to his technology got to this point, which kind of this confirms in a way the person that is designing the robots, which you gotta imagine Amado is the one that's doing all of the construction and whatnot. Amado's a better and more knowledgeable scientist than Katsuki, because he's looking at it like, yo, this gear is way more advanced than the shit that I'm cooking up right now. What is going on here? So Amado over Katsuki brain-wise confirmed. And in between those scenes, we get a cut to the Kara hideout, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, straight up and down, it really felt like we jumped into a father-son moment when Code approaches Jigen and tries to like hit him and gets swung around onto the ground and shit like that. That felt like a son trying to, you know, one of his, almost like Boruto trying to do that to Naruto essentially. That's kind of like the vibe I got. And he said, you still way too, you know, you got too much to learn right now, you can't be doing this. Even if you compare like Code begging like, please put me on the mission to find out who's the traitor and whatnot, reminded me of like Boruto and Naruto's relationship, like a father-son type of bond. So I'm just curious if there's any validity to that. And before anime only's attack, relax, no spoilers, I'm genuinely curious like what their relationship is, if anything, other than what we see on the surface of like, yo, he's a part of Kara, because you don't see, you know what I'm saying, Boro or Delta attacking Jigen like that and getting flipped over. But at the very least, we know that Code does have some sort of objective, because Jigen tells him like, yo, you got your mission, you know what your mission is, which I don't think we know what his mission is, but yeah, he says stick to that. And I like the camaraderie between Delta and Code, or it's not even really camaraderie, it's more so their relationship, shall I say, that she just keeps teasing him. To be honest with you, it seems like a somewhat similar childlike relationship between like 17 and 18, but think of like 17 and 18 Dragon Ball Z I'm talking about, from like the history of Trunks movie, how they were more deadlier in a sense, like they were killers in Dragon Ball Z, they weren't really like as deadly as they were in the film. That's kind of how it feels, the relationship between Delta and Code. Delta constantly teasing Code like, he don't trust you, it's a shame he trusts him, which I'm imagining again she's talking about Amado, over you. So I'm wondering what they're trying to build there, because I don't really remember much of that going anywhere in the manga, so they might be having something in the tuck, cooking something up. But then we come back and Boruto, Katsuki, and Team 7 have arrived to Konohamaru there, and you can see that Konohamaru is on edge. Like, the moment he hears them, he pulls out his kunai, he's like, yo, who wants him? Who wants to hurt me right now? Yeah, who wants to hurt him, because he ain't gonna do shit. But just as they regrouped, Ao shows up, and I'm not even gonna lie, Ao ran shit. Ao's just like, yes, this is Ao's time to shine. When he shows up, he's there with an automatic machine gun on some Rambo, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I've come to take your lives, where's the vessel? And they quickly realize, based on his responses, that he's working with Kara and he ain't here for no shits and giggles, mate. And again, going back into what I was saying earlier in this video, that anime-only stuff really added to all this. If there was no anime-only stuff, you wouldn't feel the same vibe. Like, don't get me wrong, the manga felt crazy and I love this stuff in the manga. In the anime, it feels more emotional because you go back to the memorial site of, you know, Mugino and Ao meeting each other there. All the stuff with Mugino, just the emotion that you get, it feels a little bit more authentic. It feels a little bit more, I feel more invested in this whole situation now, because it's like, wow, I know everybody here. I've seen a few episodes with, at the very least, a few of them. Wow. And Konohamaru thinks he's about to do something. He goes with a Rasengan and actually, at the very least, disables the automatic machine gun, because it's like, yo, what are you doing taking automatic weapons into the Naruto verse or whatnot? But he, at the very least, disables the gun, but it's Ao, fam, and Ao just shows what type of beast he is. Like, don't get it twisted. He may be a little bit mechanical now. He may not be the same monster he was back in the 4th grade Shinobi War era, but yeah, he quickly off, I want to say it was like a blast from his chest, blast Konohamaru in the face, and that's the end of that. And honestly, Konohamaru, yeah, he did something. I would expect more from, you know, like, he's basically playing the role of Kakashi. I would have expected more from a Konohamaru than this. Like, just keeping it real, what did he do other than, I guess, disable the machine gun, which, yeah, that's a big deal, but like, he just got one blast to the face and he's out on the floor there for a while. Like, Konohamaru, get in the trash can, fam. No, I know people are gonna feel like I'm harsh on Konohamaru, but I always expected more. I always expected more from him from the days of him being a little kid and taking out a pain, and where we're at right now, that a little blast from Ao's chest manages to take him down. Katsuki shows Ao that he's able to absorb jutsu after he starts absorbing the blast from the machine gun, which I guess those aren't really bullets, those are actually like chakra blasts, and he's absorbing them, which gives Ao the idea later on to take it away from him. But it seems as though they wanted to make Katsuki cool. Like, if they really actually went with the idea of, yo, let's write Ukyo Kodachi into the story, they wanted to give anything to make him be able to actually fight, because if not, he would just be like hiding behind Boruto and them. So I guess it was also to demonstrate like, yo, this is a ninja tech, it's, you know, the new era versus the old era, also the conflict within Boruto about how he feels regarding technology and stuff like that. So it kind of fits, but Katsuki just looks a little ridiculous. And then even Boruto jumping in, trying to do something with a Rasengan, gets swatted away as well. Ao showing again that he's an elite shinobi, not one to be played with. And I'm like, yeah. That's what I want to see. But then, the moment of truth, people, when Mugino grabs Ao, and all of those episodes of the anime culminate into this moment of, you know, the anime original stuff of all the scenes of Mugino just thinking back on the first mission that we saw and how Boruto didn't like him, and then finding out Mugino's backstory. You didn't get none of this in the manga. And in fact, in the manga, his character design alone, he looked like an old man. On top of that, he was just really irrelevant. And in the anime now, I'm like, no, Mugino, no! And even that moment, like I said, the memorial scene of when Ao and him met, and he's holding him there and saying like, yo, I had pride, you made me look at you like, yo, that's the type of life I want to walk one day, like, you was just like great, like, please don't do this. And I was like, oh, you didn't know? I'm a piece of shit a little bit, you know? I'm a piece of shit, like, yeah. And proceeds to stab him from the back through his chest, and I'm just like, wow. That moment was great. That moment was 10 times better than in the manga. Way better. You felt it, everything. This is why anime only can be beneficial sometimes if you stick to the script of the manga and just add moments to make you feel those moments. And Mugino holding on there after all those emotional scenes, and at the very least in his last moment saying, you know what, if I can't do anything else, he uses a jutsu to like start caving in the cave and manage to help them get away. And I'm like, oh, you know, he took Ao down for the moment at the very least. And it's crazy that like, yo, Konohamaru and Mugino, two, you know, elite shinobi at that, working together, and Ao still survived, because you see at the end of that, he pulls his hand out and Konohamaru orders them like, yo, we gotta run away. I'm too pussy. I'm shit at this. We gotta get out of here. Let's scram. I'm like, Konohamaru, you bitch. But that ain't gonna be for long, because I was like, yo, I ain't gonna let them escape. I'm gonna grab them motherfuckers. And the episode ends, and honestly, fantastic. One of the best, yet again. I'm not pulling your leg. One of the best episodes of the Boruto anime thus far, yet again. Like, between, of course, Mugino's death, big stuff, but just seeing how they utilize some of the stuff in the anime, the last, I want to say, even half a year maybe of anime episodes, ever since the Kara activation. There we go. Once Kara activation started, a lot of these episodes really helped to make the stuff that we've been dying to see animated feel very authentic, feel very fulfilling. And this episode was amazing. Boruto getting more info on the Kara group, a little bit more on the technology. Yo, Ao was the best part. I'm not even gonna front. Ao just a monster with the automatic machine gun, like, ah! Curious what you guys thought about this episode though. How did you feel about Mugino's death? Did you feel it? Did you care? I don't know how you couldn't care, especially if you've been following the anime for the last, like I said, since the Kara activation arc. It's been crazy. All of these episodes culminated into an incredible moment, and when we get another memorial service, we're gonna piss on Ao's grave, assuming he's dead at that particular point, and we're gonna cry and mourn for Mugino, the anime version, fuck the manga version. And your overall thoughts and expectations for Boruto episode 185 and beyond. Yo, this arc, one of the best ones of the series so far. Insane, but yeah, we expected that. Manga reader's been like, when it comes, you'll understand. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy! Have an awesome day, peace in, and legit, R.I.P. Anime Mugino. You were a real G, fam. And Ao, you're a monster, but I can't really hate you. I don't know, I can't. You're just too epic, like,
so just go